The Flashpoint movie could be the new 52 for the DCEU. The ever-worsening trash fire known as 2020 has done a lot to the world, and in pop culture terms, that means 0 superhero movies. Unless Wonder Woman 1984 actually does come out in December. But even though it's unlikely we'll see any big comic book blockbusters this year, that doesn't mean news for the future isn't full of possibilities. Both DC and Marvel are steering into the wild multiverses of their respective mythoses, and one that has us very intrigued is the upcoming Flashpoint movie. We heard at DC Fandom that the long awaited movie starring Ezra Miller's version of Barry Allen will be a game changer for the DC extended universe, and we'll see both Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton return to the big screen as Batman. Batmans? Maybe there'll be a way to get multiple Michael Keatons into the movie.
Yeah, hey, we're gonna eat a dolphin!
Flashpoint will presumably follow the storyline set out in Jeff Johns' 2011 comic book arc of the same name. In that, Barry Allen goes back in time to prevent his mother's death, and Butterfly affects it up into a dark and horrible present. Aquaman's Atlanteans are at war with Wonder Woman's Amazons. Bruce Wayne is the one murdered in Crime Alley, and his father, Thomas Wayne, becomes Batman. Superman isn't the savior of Earth, but a lab rat by the US government. Real 2020 stuff. But, as Nerdist staff writer Eric Diaz posits, the same way the comic Flashpoint resulted in the comic book universe's New 52, the DCEU's Flashpoint could New 52 the movies. Say that 5 times fast. The New 52 was DC Comics' excuse to reboot their continuity and take all of the issues, 52 titles if you can believe it, back to number 1. Not everything was rewritten though, and the company was able to keep some of the major arcs, like the War of the Lanterns and the death of Jason Todd, in continuity while resetting everything else. It was a decision that wasn't necessarily beloved by fans, but it gave us some of the most enduring stories featuring these characters, like Batman's Court of Owls and Aquaman's War for Atlantis. This definitely seems like the way the movies are headed. At the Fandom event, producer Barbara Muschietti said of the Flashpoint movie, "Flash is the superhero of this film because he's the bridge between all of these characters and timelines. And in a way, it restarts everything and doesn't forget anything." A New 52 approach for the movie seems the best option given how hit and miss the DCEU movies have been. Soft rebooting the DCEU will mean what is working will remain in continuity, but what didn't click with audiences will be altered, if not outright deleted. But the Flash character will remember it all, so it will all still count to him and ultimately to us as the viewers. Almost assuredly, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman and Jason Momoa's Aquaman, the DCEU's 2 biggest hits, will stay as we know them.
Alright.
But this storyline just might erase things like the theatrical version of Justice League entirely. And we know from Fandom that Ben Affleck's Batman will play a pivotal role in Flashpoint, perhaps pointing to his rebooting as a major emotional beat, while also ensuring a future of Batman movies in continuity, but without Batfleck. Of course, there are pitfalls to this approach. The haphazard style of the New 52 continuity in the comics eventually became unwieldy and hard to follow. But it's one thing to maintain a new and coherent continuity across dozens and dozens of comics over several years, and quite another having to do the same thing with just a handful of films a year. But at the end of the day, it might be the most elegant approach to what could have been a much messier situation. And hey, anything that blinks Henry Cavill's weird CGI lip out of existence is ultimately a good thing. But what do you think? Will Flashpoint make the DCEU more streamlined, or will it complicate things further? Will we ever see a Green Lantern in the DCEU? Why is Michael Keaton in everything?
Well, I'm not sure.
Let's discuss in the comments. And for more of the latest in comics, movies, TV, and more, even in the Flashpoint paradox of this year, stay tuned to Nerdist.com.